Today we are going over everything that we know so far with Apex Legends Season 16's Legend, from both the potential new Legend and the adjustments to our existing roster. As with every season, this is going to be the video where I try to do a deep dive and knowledge collection of what is floating out there on the interweb and share it with you. Let me know which season you started in the comments below. You know what to do. Hit that like button. Let's get right to it. This has to be the first season in basically ever where we are not completely sure on who we are getting, if anyone, honestly, and we'll have more on this shortly. But let's start with the highly probable options. Ballistic is going to be the current most complete Legend when it does come to a Legend that we can expect to get in Season 16. Ballistic is a purely offensive Legend, and his abilities are as follows. His passive is a weapon sling. Basically, this just allows him to store a third weapon, but this weapon cannot take any attachments. The tactical is going to be the smart bullet. Ballistic fires a projectile that debuffs your enemy's weapons. Holding the tactical can lock on enemies, giving that projectile some sort of aim assist. And in addition to debuffing enemies' weapons, if they do get hit by the projectile, the gun is going to overheat as they fire them, which will damage the enemy. And for Ballistic's ultimate ability, this is going to be the weapon enhancer. Basically, Ballistic just lays down a weapon cache, and this does enhance his squad's weapons. Teammates will get faster reloads, increased movement speed, and from the sounds of it, infinite ammo. As for the overall vibe and appearance of Ballistic, I do get a Fuse vibe, although he does kind of seem somewhat more of like the mix between assault and support capabilities with that ultimate. And from the leaked images, it does look like he is on the older side. The only other option I do want to briefly mention is going to be Rhapsody from mobile. Mainly this is because this Legend would somewhat go in line with the events or event that we are going to be getting in Season 16, which is a very colorful and party type atmosphere event. I don't foresee this happening, but you never know. Obviously, Apex Legends are going into the mobile game. Why can't we have it going the other way? We will have to wait and see. As I mentioned at the start, due to the nature and lack of really any talk about Season 16's Legend, it kind of seems like maybe we aren't getting a new Legend, which absolutely would be a first. Being just a couple weeks from a new season and us having no idea as to who we are going to get is kind of a huge deal, as these things are heavily known from multiple sources when we do lead up to a new season. Maybe Respawn has just gotten better at keeping secrets, but I kind of doubt this. There definitely was talk about how Respawn does not want to oversaturate the Legend pool, but just last season, when I sat with the developers and they kind of explained to us Season 15, I heard straight from their mouths that they don't really think Apex Legends is oversaturated with Legends. So for us to not get a Legend this season would be a pretty fast change, and frankly, I could see us going multiple more years before we really get into any sort of talk where there is not going to be a new Legend. Either way, I would take with a huge grain of salt the talk about how there is not going to be any Legend next season. We are probably just about a week or two from actually getting information. Obviously, we want to get content when a new season launches, and not getting a Legend is a massive thing. They've never had marketing around a season where there hasn't been a Legend, so I don't really know how they would market the season. But one big thing that the community has been asking for a long time is going to be that quality of life season. It was leaked and it has been rumored that the existing Legends are going to be getting split up into new classes: Assault, Control, Recon, Skirmish, and Support. And I definitely could see Apex Legends and Respawn heavily leaning into this as their marketing of the season. While we don't know per se where every Legend is going to go, it seems like there will be some tweaks to the Legends in both buffs or nerfs, depending on the class that they do move into, in addition to just a number of Legend changes. This could also make sense as to why we got no Legend adjustments at the start of Season 15. I don't necessarily agree with it, but why bother adjusting Legends for Season 15 if you are just going to adjust the Legends again in 3 months? Either way, this has come and gone. Reworking the classes, though, is absolutely needed. Some Legends classes feel like there is pretty much no sense to them being in that class. Being in an Assault class right now is pretty much just pointless, as it really doesn't provide any perks. It's more about just talking about their play style. Whereas with this new adjustment, every class does seem like it's going to be getting a little bit of love, and I do think every Legend getting some small tweak is definitely warranted. The rumor is that the Assault class Legends will be getting the ability to open a new red tier loot pill for more ammo, and they will be able to hold more ammo per stack. Obviously, this is just a rumor, but the amount of information on it kind of makes it seem to be true. The second class of the Control Legends, such as Watson and Caustic, are supposed to be getting some sort of bonuses to holding up areas. The third class is going to be Recon Legends. Obviously, we already got Recon Legends in Apex, so there's nothing new here. They're going to be able to scan the beacons. The fourth rumored class is going to be the Skirmisher class, and it's not definitive, but it seems like this would be the Movement Legends like Horizon. And then the fifth class is going to be the Support class, which currently consists of Lifeline and Loba. And the adjustment for this support support class would be that every legend on that class is going to be able to open the blue loot pills. Gibraltar and Newcastle are also rumored to be reassigned to a support legend rather than them being a defensive legend, which that class would be going away. Moving on, we have the legend and bounce tweaks. There's not a lot on this, but there is almost one guaranteed thing I could see coming next season, and it is going to be a nerf to Horizon and her tactical lift. You're no longer going to have 100% accuracy when you are going up that lift. Basically, I can almost guarantee this is because we did see it get released earlier in the season, and then they quickly patched it out, and they said on Twitter that it's just not ready yet. Maybe this won't happen this season, but I'm 99% sure it is going to happen at the start of Season 16. Horizon is still very powerful, and even with this nerf, I don't really see her changing that much. You're just not going to be able to be as offensive, but you're still going to have all that crazy movement. You're going to be able to slide onto enemies and do a lot of good kill plays just like you always could. I almost wish they never said why the change was reverted mid-season, and they did say it is because the ALGS Split 1 finals are coming up, and they didn't want to change the game that much before that tournament. Why are we catering to the 60 to 80 players that are playing in the pro tournament when there are millions and millions of players every week that are playing the game and just waiting for an adjustment because a few pro players seems a little bit crazy to me? But whatever, we can cater to the 0.0001%. That's fine. Either way, let's just move on. We do have Pathfinder, and we are going to see some sort of change to his ultimate ability. It was shown or leaked in a public trailer or developer event before Season 15's launch that Pathfinder now has some sort of indicator to the distance of that zip line. And I could also guess that he is going to get some sort of passive rework because his passive has been lacking for a while. Nothing specifically rumored, but we do want to talk about Mirage. Our boy does need some love. Respawn knows it. He hasn't really had any changes in like 2 or so years. When the decoys did start to get footstep audio, I would greatly welcome any sort of Mirage changes. There's really not too many other legends out there that really need adjustments as much as Mirage does. After this, we do have Loba. It was rumored that her tactical was going to get maybe some sort of cooldown reduction. This again wasn't a dev's tweet. As for a straight up nerf, Seer I can almost guarantee is going to get a nerf. I think both because he had his heirloom come out and a developer again mentioned that they were joking about nerfing him after they do launch the heirloom. And as crazy as it does seem like it's a joke, I do think this is why they do nerf some legends after the fact. They want to get sales in. It is a business. There's a few other legends that aren't rumored, but I do want to mention Revenant is crazy weak right now. In the ultimate department specifically, I could see a Revenant buff. Catalyst I think is actually kind of weak compared to the other legends. I do think Catalyst could get a very small buff this season. Ashe is kind of rumored to be getting an heirloom this season, so buffing this legend for increased sales, I could see it. It was leaked that we should not expect a Horizon or Fuse heirloom, so in my eyes, this really just leaves Ashe unless you go like Mad Maggie. Anyone newer than Mad Maggie feels like it's just way too soon. And then we do have Wraith getting some sort of rework or buff. There are leaked images of a kunai recolor, which again means heirlooms and sales, so I could see Wraith getting some sort of adjustment. Also, there was pros talking about how Wraith might be the meta next season. Obviously, this could just be bait and talk from them, but either way, I do think this is likely. Let me know what you think of the class changes in the comments. Is this what Apex really needs? Stay tuned as we're going to talk more about the weapons and everything else with the season later in the week. Subscribe, hit that like button. See you in the next one.